Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, yeah. Not the fun time for you to lose to a third string goaltender and get shut out, but we'll break this one down and the historical significance of this game and another game playing in Fargo, North Dakota right now on Teal Town After Dark. Good evening, everyone. Hi. It is March 27th, 2021. The Sharks lose to the Desert Dogs 4-0 as Patrick Marleau ties Mark Messier in all-time games played. Welcome to Teal Town After Dark. This is your live interactive Sharks postgame. We do this after every single game, home and away, win or loss. Oh, lordy. This one's tough to take, I think. So if you want to be part of the show, here's how you do it. Teal together with us and fellow Sharks fans on the app. Of course, follow us on the social, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel, SoundCloud, Reddit, and of course, Discord after dark. So with me, good evening, everyone. I'm at Erik. I can't even know my thing because I'm that pissed about this game. I am joined by Erik, Landi. I am at PuckGuy14 on the Twitter and the Instagram. Oh, lordy. Landi. I mean, how are you? And you know, the first period looked promising. I think it looked promising, but I had a little bit of a feeling of that infamous Ben Scrivens night that the Sharks had against Edmonton. You know.
No. I mean, honestly, I think it goes deeper than that. I mean, it was just pathetic. That first period I thought was pretty good. Like you said, I mean, I think what happened to this team is what normally happens to this team, right? Where you've got you've got a goaltender who stands on his head for a period. The team gets down on itself
Mm-hmm.
and unable to recover. And that's the book on this team. It's the book on them, and it's been a long time that we've seen that. I mean, even going into the Joe Thornton days and the Pavelski days, and this is just a team that just gets easily frustrated when it's not scoring, and then I think the rest of their game kind of follows. So, I mean, I think even from a perspective of growth and development, I think you've got elements of this team that are uh, just not clicking, and it's not a good environment to bring up, some quality players. You kind of run the risk of, maybe I think Ferraro's got a really strong character, and I think he's part of the solution definitely. And Kanizhov, I think, has been also very good and kind of a pillar of pretty semi-consistent play. I think what you're going to get out of him, and he
Right.
brings it night to night. Um, but like Curtis Gabriel going off the deep end, like that doesn't help. You know, I think I saw Leonard play some really good hockey tonight. I thought Bolsers was one of those guys that, for me, did a lot in the first period. Looked like he got a lot of jump, and then kind of fizzled and got frustrated. I think the same could be said for Kane as well, who looked very ready to start the game. Um, and I think that, quite honestly, uh, the team is just at this point. I think it's frustration setting in, but I also think that it's on them for the mental mistakes as well.
And,
I yeah.
and it's not just like one or two times that they're making these mental mistakes. I mean, last week we are talking about hella dudes on the ice. I mean, and little things here and there. Now you're getting these lazy tripping calls. We saw it against Vegas where LeBanc took one late where the Sharks were trying to climb back into the game. You saw a couple from Balsers tonight.
Yeah,
You
Balsers was definitely guilty of them, and again, it was like it was them compounding their own mistakes. You know what I mean?
right, and that's the problem right now is that this team isn't clicking. They can't get things going. And then you have a third period, which was basically destroyed by an absolute dumb penalty. An absolute dumb penalty. Yes,
Yep.
I know. I think it's like Let's Go Sharks on Twitter is saying you need a thumper out there. Okay, that's great. You need a thumper, but you need a thumper that's not going to be doing dumb penalties. You don't take that dumb penalty where you're creating 3 or 4 strides to go and interfere with a guy, and then he gets hurt, and you get a 5-minute major. Thankfully, the Sharks killed it off, but then you take a puck over glass penalty, which eventually leads to a goal. I mean, Phil Kessel has 7 goals against the Sharks in 4 games. You lost to a third-string goaltender. You got shut out by a third-string goaltender. This is not acceptable. This is not acceptable. And if it is, and you say, oh, they tried hard. No, you lost 5-2 last night. You lost 4-0 tonight. You're in a stretch of games where you should be winning games because you got a damn good roster. And what happens? You get nothing in Arizona. Nothing.
I mean, damn good roster.
You have Evander Kane. You have Logan Couture. You have 2 Norris Trophy winners. You have a decent goal. You have a decent goaltender. You also had a goaltender that coming into this series only allowed like 4 goals in the last 3 games. And then it just magically falls apart. No, I think it's laziness. I think it's tiredness, and they aren't prepared. Honestly. A lot of the guys were talking about not being ready and not being prepared, or they're tired. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
So I just wanted
so
to,
is everybody
I wanted
else in
to,
this league.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Erik. I mean, I don't know, what the solution is here. I mean, is it as in is it as simple as going to the well of a Daryl Sutter? I mean, because you looked at Daryl tonight, and you've got Johnny Gaudreau, who's playing on his 500th game, and that's a pretty big deal for a player. It's a very big milestone in the NHL. You're halfway to 1,000 games. I mean, you're no pup anymore, and he comes out pre-game right before the game, and he says, "I hope that he has more energy than he did in his 499." And it's like, man, talk about a shot across the bow. I mean, is that what's needed here? It might be. It might be that there are just too many divas in this locker room, and they're unable to play for each other. They're unable to really mount consistent night after night efforts, and it's a team that can be pushed around if it doesn't have Curtis Gabriel in the lineup.
Oh my God! So we have to have a guy who's running around with who took a charging call and an interference call, and a guy who loses fights. Wow! I'm so glad we got him. I mean, kudos to him, completely doing everything he's been doing off the ice. I will say that till I'm blue in the face, because I think hockey needs to be for everyone, and that's his platform to use, and I'm so glad for that. However, here's the thing. You can't take a stupid penalty that gives you 5 minutes of not going after the puck to get a chance to get back into this. This was 2-0. Landi.
I mean,
that's the thing.
Yeah, no, and Lacey, I think you should, if you can bring that up, pull that up on the on the chat. Lacey's saying everyone's saying Sharks need to retaliate on Johan Larsson for sheep shotting Radim Šimić at the start of the season. Now everyone all mad because Curtis Gabriel actually did. I think when it comes to retaliating, there is a time and a place. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's you pick them off in a scrum, or you do a big bruising hit on the blue line, or something not as egregious as a blindside hit that's the play is passed them up 3 or 4 seconds before the hit is applied. That's just dumb. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hell, Rafi Torres, when he got his when he got his suspension, he was they called it because of a headshot, but the puck carrier still had the puck. You know what I mean? And same thing with the Jared Stoll hit, right? I mean, the players had the puck.
Yeah.
So, you could at least make that argument that he was trying to, dislodge the player from the puck, but the player didn't even have the puck.
Yeah.
It's poor judgment. It's a guy who's already under the microscope, not realizing that he's probably going to get a suspension for that, because the league already kind of gave him his warning, and I'm sure Peros was telling him, if you put one pinky out of line, dude, you're gonna get whacked.
Well, yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if he gets 3-4 games thrown.
Because he's a Shark, probably 3. I mean, he's already been under in the microscope with the league earlier in the week, so I mean, you knew something was going to be coming.
Look, and I like
I sorry, Landy, let me just finish this really quick. But I like what Kevin said, to go after him, but there's a time and place for it.
Exactly. I like what Curtis Gabriel brings, when he applies it between the whistles, or within, the bounds of normal, play. And when I don't have time. I don't have time for the headshot thing. I think that, we're in a league now where it's been so analyzed and so reviewed and so scrutinized that at this point, if you haven't adapted, then you're just willfully ignorant. And you're also, so you're questioning the judgment there. And not only that, Erik, but to be quite frank, I mean, he doesn't add much to the play. This is a guy that his hands are, let's say, C-, and that would be generous, right? This is a guy who, he's got a fairly good motor. I'd rate him at a C+ kind of motor. But shot is, there's not really a shot there. He doesn't really stand in front of the goalie like you really want him to, for being such a big guy. And I'm left saying, okay, this is a guy taking out another person who could be developing right now.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I get that, but if you're not going anywhere, I get why you have like a guy like Marlowe in, but you also need, I think a lot of people were talking about Nason last night with me and Ian. He has a little bit of a scoring touch, but he could be a guy who can thump around. Why isn't he getting anything? That's the tough part.
Yeah, because Nason showed up out of weight, or showed up, out of shape and unconditioned. And he's a third or fourth line guy who can be made an example of. And Bob Boughner is choosing him to make an example of, if you're not well conditioned, then you're not going to be able to play. Yet we have a guy like Erik Karlsson who seemingly is similar in his condition when he gets to camp. Doesn't look right, doesn't look like a guy who has been dedicated to his rehab. Now, I'm just saying that insofar as he did not look right when he came to camp either. And I wonder how much dedication he has to the rehab portion of it, where we don't ever question Patrick Marleau or Joe Thornton or Joe Pavelski and how hard they try and rehabilitate themselves. But man, I mean, if Erik Karlsson's reflection of his play is how he deals with other adversity, on and off the ice, insofar as his health and insofar as consistent effort, then you got to wonder where his headspace is at. You know what I mean? I mean, headspace insofar as what's he doing here? Why is he here? Why are you even playing if you're half in, half out kind of deal? So there's a lot of problems on this team.
Well,
and there's a lot of different ways that we can go about this, but at the end of the day, this is just a team that's not responding to the to the message that the coaching staff is putting out there. It's a team that I don't know would, even if you had the most stringent of coaches on them, be able to play structured and to play as a unit. I just think that there right now are too many conflicting personalities in this locker room.
Well, that should have been addressed when you signed him, when you make your changes and everything. I think Doug Wilson's smarter than that to have these conflicts or some sort. But everybody gives crap about Erik Karlsson, but Brent Burns is now 0-4 in his last 11 games. His last goal was March 5th.
But not only that, but he's a net minus now on the team, insofar as he was already a minus player, but now he's not even providing offense, right?
Right.
So what is he providing?
And that's where the magnifying of his play comes into play when things are going downward here, And all these guys can be very well, and in a flat cap world, good luck trying to get that moved. I mean, seriously, good luck.
Anthony and Anthony, I just want to pull you out of the chat here with the in the chat here. I just feel like, look, you've got a player that is taking up 14% of the cap, should at least be providing that same value in the scoring, should make up at least 14% of the scoring, not even close. And again, I question the commitment. Now, look, if the guy goes off on a tear and gets a hat trick, and puts up 50 some odd points, that would be great, and I would say, okay, I mean, that's what we need. That's what we were signing up for. Great, attaboy. But at this point, between him and Burns and Vlasic, the three supposedly strongest defensemen on your team, are the three weakest defensemen, in my opinion. Knyzhov, I'd rather have Knyzhov, Simic, and Ferraro at this point.
And you need to know how banged up Simic is. I mean, my goodness, he's taken a pounding in 33 games this season. He might be hanging on by a thread here with the ribs, the head, from the cross checks, from everything. The same can be said for Logan Couture. I mean, tonight he made an unremarkable spinorama block shot, and he went off the ice, and yeah, he finished the game off. But how badly is he hurting? We're getting comments from the locker room now. Here from Mario Ferraro, we battled hard to try to kill off those penalties. We had a good first period, had good opportunities. The positive, we got extra work on our PK tonight. He goes on saying, we're still going to make a run. There's a lot of hockey to be to play. We're not out of this thing. Just because we lost these two doesn't mean it's over. I'm cool for your optimism, Mario, and I appreciate it, but you're running out of time. And these are two games that you go 0-4 and give 4 points to Arizona to get back into the race himself. Um,
Not
they're
only that, not only that, but the team that I mean, the team that they're fighting for that fourth spot, who we thought it was going to be Arizona, it was going to be Minnesota, and Arizona's not going away. Minnesota is definitely not going away. And these were two measuring the game on Monday will be another measuring stick to see where the team is at. But right now, with the effort that they've put into the games against Arizona, I I don't think that they're better than Arizona at this point. I don't think that they're better than the Kings. They're better than the Ducks, but at this point, the other teams that are in front of them, Arizona and Minnesota, I think that quite honestly, they have their number.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't even play all that well against St. Louis. I think it was 3-3-2, and it's like, I I mean, I don't know who people are trying to kid. I mean, and I let's talk about a little bit about the broadcasts too. And I've tried to cut these guys some slack. Randy and Hetty are trying to do the best that they can, but it seems like there has been a lot of emphasis on missed calls this season. The team seems to be really driving that home, and while I appreciate them, you know, calling out the missed calls, at this point, I think the officiating, it is what it is. We have seen clear. I think it's been pretty well documented. We've seen some pretty clear bias against the Sharks. And I think again, it's still the Kane tax from a year and a half ago. I think that the referees still have a really bad taste in their mouth, and as they should, right? I mean, Kane went ape shit and decided to not understand where his body was in reference to where the linesman was. But still, I mean, at some point, I don't want to keep hearing like, oh, this missed call or this missed call. It's like, I understand.
But Landy, though, I mean, let's be honest here. We're making up for all the calls in the 2019 playoffs. After the 5-minute major to Vegas, the offsides call against Colorado, the hand pass, it's all coming back to us. We're getting the makeup call, just like Tim Peel was looking for. It's just taking 2-3 seasons to get out of it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and you know what? If it's egregious and it's a horrible non-call, okay, you can get off of it. If it's a little bit of a flop, which we saw with Marchessault, that's the thing. But here's the thing: a lot of those, and I think, SJ Shark wannabe is going to hit it right on the head as I'm saying this. It's rough to see the boys taking tripping, hooking, puck over glass penalties on a nightly basis. You got to skate harder and not reach with their sticks, and that basically means they're not moving their legs. They're being a little lazy and everything on that point. And when you're starting to do that, that's not good. You want guys doing those extra things to get the job done, not try to shortcut our way around it, because you know what? That's going to bite in the butt down the road.
Yeah, I mean, and we're talking a little bit about all of the just kind of the mojo around the team and stuff, and I'm sure that it's quite fatiguing actually for Randy and for Brett to have to call these types of games that the Sharks continually see themselves going into, right, where it seems like the announcers are calling more highlights for the other team than your own team, and the frustration of how the team is playing. I think you can hear it in their broadcasting. How many oohs and ahs and oops and are we hearing from Hetty, as the team is just watching and making these blunders after blunders. I mean, there's no it's understandable, why it seems like the broadcast has maybe, you know, been a little off, and again, they're not in the arenas. The travel has definitely affected everyone, and I think that it's definitely showing up everywhere. That being said, I feel like we should be in pretty well, like, at this point, everybody should be pretty well oiled to this kind of new, this new normal that we find ourselves in. And I think that it's taken the Sharks maybe a little bit longer than everyone else to kind of figure that out. And I think, I don't, it's not an excuse. I think it's the reason why I think a lot of things have been sloppy.
Because of the travel and what they haven't done.
And not being present in the arena to be able to see the players, interact with the players, understand, like tonight there were quite a few misses on who was in the line, or like I think Gabriel went in for a puck and it was actually Timo,
But
who
see, here's the thing, and the funny thing is that Randy always does his in position posts on Instagram. They're calling a game off of maybe a 60-inch television. I mean, so I'll cut some slack on if they miss a player or number. That being said, those reverse retro jerseys didn't help things either. I think I remember Randy calling Marlowe tying that game against Vegas, and it was actually LeBanc. But I mean, with the broadcasters wise, it's tough. I mean, when I talked to Randy before the season, he hadn't really talked to some people who had done it, and some of the setups are like a big old widescreen, silver screen, and to call a game live versus call a game off of a TV screen is rough. You don't see what's going on behind the play. I mean, honestly, I don't even think that they probably saw the if I remember correctly, if they saw the hit that Gabriel put on initially until they saw the replay,
Yeah.
and it's tough to say that because it's unfair to these guys to not travel, and it's tough to call a game that way. I feel for them.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, I agree, and I think that's why we've seen the little bit of the degradation on the broadcast. So I understand, and I think I understand to a certain extent. It's a unique environment. It's a frustrating year. I think it's a frustrating year all around.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
And the seven teams that didn't make the qualifiers. I mean, let's see, LA, they're fighting for a playoff spot. Anaheim looks bad. The Sharks have had moments. Buffalo, we won't even start with them. They're on the verge of tying the Sharks for the Sharks' longest losing streak in franchise history. They're getting to that. I mean, New Jersey's been meh. I can't. Detroit, meh. I mean, the teams that were gone for 10 months and really didn't get a chance to mesh in the offseason or have that moment where they can play in the qualifiers didn't get a chance to do much. And maybe it's showing a little bit, but they need to persevere and get through this. To me, I'm sorry. I mean, you have people questioning everything in this round. Even Zach saying, "Is Bob Bugner the answer going forward?" I mean, I look at tonight as a game that kind of shows where the Sharks are at. They had an opportunity to take a chance to get 4 points and get back into a playoff race, and they didn't come prepared. They didn't come mentally ready. They didn't come, they came in exhausted. They came in, honestly not prepared, and and honestly, I'll put that on the coach. The coach needs to prep them, And hey, I'll give them credit to I mean, I don't know what the heck kind of immigration issues John Madden had, but I mean, what in the world? I mean, it was his
Uh,
first game behind the bench,
yeah, no, I
or
mean,
second, I think. Excuse me.
second game. Yesterday was his first game, and I mean, insofar as Bugner goes, I think he was just a known quantity at that point. I think it was, by the time that they kind of figured things out, what they wanted to do, I don't think that there was a lot of names left. I don't think there was a lot of names that they were in love with. Um, I don't even think that they interviewed anybody else before giving him the extension. So, you know, it's it is what it is at this point. Um, Hopefully he's inexpensive. That's all I have to
Well,
say about that.
and Hockey Jerk has mentioned this on the Discord before too, that maybe it's somebody that's already on the payroll.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, granted, with PDB going to Vegas, you get them off the payroll, so you're not really, you know, you're not paying extra. But I mean, come on, let's go. You know, but
CD Dangle in the chat. Do you blame the past three coaches too? No, I mean I've been quite vocal that this is also on the players. I think the players didn't come prepared, and I think that really shows. But I also agree with you, Erik. I don't think that this team has been. Let's just say I don't think that the coaching has um, necessarily address the issues that were had last season, where the system play goes. I blame the bench, or I blame the coaches in the second period issues with changing, and I mean Brent Burns taking 2 minute strides out there, and 2 minute walks on the ice, and Erik Karlsson getting stranded out there for 2 minutes. I mean, it's just not it's just not acceptable for those players to be doing that, and you can just see how gassed Brent Burns is. That's on Buchner too.
and for that matter, I mean, it's not just the defensemen. I mean, there have been times where forwards got out there and stuck. Like, it, I think it was like Gambrell was stuck out there for 2 minutes. Either, was either Meyer or LeBanc got stuck out there for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes. I mean, guys know better. And granted, if you get pinned in your zone, you need to call. You need to get. It's a puck possession game. That's what this team has been built on for the number of years. That to have the puck, and the problem with that is that they don't have the puck. They don't win faceoffs. They're having issues with that. I mean,
I
seriously.
will say,
And how many times have they lost a faceoff on a set play and it's in the back of the net?
yeah, no, I think the one area that the team has improved on, I think, is in its transition play. I think it's much more of a team that's able to scoot up the ice and to transition well. But after they hit the zone, if they dump and chase, I'd say at this point in the season, 3 times out of 10 that they're the retrieving team, the puck retrieving the team retrieving the puck if they do a dump and chase. I just don't see a consistent enough forecheck from period to period to period. Again, you talk about the faceoffs. I talk about the wingers coming in and helping out the centers, to try and win that faceoff back. And, not enough not enough drivers on this team right now. There's just a lot of people coasting.
There's got to be guys on this team, not just the big names, not the big names that are getting contracts, those who want to step up. They need to step up. There's a reason why you're getting a revolving door of Joachim Blickfeld, Noah Gregor, Shemilevsky. I mean, outside John Leonard, maybe none of them have like held down a spot, on this team.
I
And
mean, how? So
and,
again, I
and
think
that's
that
part of the prospect problem.
Yeah, no, I think that's part of the problem. I think we also have to ask though, like why is Timo, Hurdle, and Balsers not back together? You know what I mean? Like why was Marlowe put there for all that time? You know, like
Well,
yeah, no, I guess, but again, it's like the lineup decisions are curious. You know, I saw it's a perfect example in that first period. In the latter half of the period, they double shifted Couture on the fourth line, and Suomela was stapled to the bench because of a giveaway that he had. But that that game I felt was Suomela, one of Suomela's better games. You know, and I think that Bugner is too quick to, you know, take a guy off the line if he makes a mistake with the younger guys, and I think he's too comfortable with defaulting to the veterans of the team. I think that the guy is still playing as if they're trying to, you know, make the playoffs or whatever, trying to overtax his players. When I mean, come on, look at the standings, dude. Like I understand you're competitive, but you also got to start thinking about, like, okay, you know, what do I have in some of these players? You know, like, am I putting them into positions to succeed, or am I, you know, kind of hanging them out to dry? I mean, playing Couture as much as he does with how hurt he is, not a good thing. Burns as much ice time as he get, not a great thing.
mm-hmm. And you're right, AG. We'll look forward to Shemolevsky getting called up on Monday. Yeah, because I mean, you gotta try somebody out. You gotta see who's going on. You know, uh, I don't know. It just goes to show what's in the depth right now. And granted, there are some guys out there in college. You know, we're talking about, uh, Thomas
Steve
Bortolo.
Rector. Steve Rector. Noah who?
Yeah, but that's the thing. So, uh, boy. So, well, the Sharks lose 4-0. Hey, if you're new here, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. I know Brody and Curtis went off the air for a little bit, so do us a favor. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. It really goes a long way. Of course, likes. We have 57 here. Come on. Let's get a little higher than 15. Come on. Let's make this happen. You know.
Yeah, and yeah, appreciate all of the donations.
Yep.
And you know, again, we appreciate this. We do this for the fans, and you know, it's I'm glad that we've got some really passionate fans in our fan base, and appreciate all the help.
Yep.
You know, and again, if you haven't already, you can use that Google chat or the YouTube chat for those donations, but you can also use the Venmo too, and that helps us out too. So
yeah.
Yeah,
we appreciate all the donations. John, let me get yours back up on here. There is no rotation or cycle. They just keep hitting pucks forward with no plan. That's a tough one.
Goes back to the forecheck, right?
Yeah.
And establishing in the zone. And we saw that in that first period. I mean, that power play it did everything but score.
Yeah. No.
And I think, again, we talk about the mental fortitude when the team is not able to score. I mean, Erik, you've watched this team for as long as I have.
No, and the thing is that they've always get those chances, doesn't work out, and then this team just gets frustrated and keeps trying to put pucks on net, and nothing goes by, and that's kind of what happened tonight. I think we were joking about last night about how, oh, watch out, we're gonna make him look like a Vezina Trophy winner. Last night, no. Tonight, yeah. I mean, it's frustrating to see, and then taking the penalties left and right. I mean, 1 for 6 on the power play for the Coyotes tonight. The Sharks took 6 penalties. Of course, late in the game, you can't have that. You're stuck, on the PK when you're focusing on defending as opposed to trying to take chances to get back into a 2-goal game. I mean, it's just, come on. There's your problem right there. So, so they lose this one 4-0. And guess who's coming to town? That red hot Minnesota Wild with Kaprizov. It's like, yay! And it's frustrating to see because and
I wonder if Nason gets a call back after Gabriel acted like a fool tonight.
I'm with
I
you,
don't know,
AJ.
man.
I am with you.
Yeah, but I mean, with how bad Nason has been in that Bugner doghouse, I don't know, man.
Well,
I don't know.
At this point, what do you got to lose? I mean, if Gabriel is going to act stupid and could be suspended, who else are you going to bring in? You're not gonna put Middleton out there and take out a defenseman. You're not gonna go 7 defensemen. I mean, it's like, come on. I think Nason would be ideal to get in, or do you bring up? I think he was called up briefly. Jeffrey Viel.
I mean, do you need that though against Minnesota?
Do you need that against Arizona?
So why isn't Chmelevski or Chemlevski or however we want to say? I mean, like
Chmelevski.
Yeah, I mean, why is he not playing?
So, and that's the thing. That's where you start wondering where things should go with this, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. To me, it shouldn't bother me too much, but it kind of irks me that that 2 former Sharks are running their teams. Blake and VL. Thank you, Kevin. Sorry about that, Jeff VL. That are doing a heck of a job. Kudos to Bill Guerin after another former Shark. Paul Fenton went nutso in 1 year in Minnesota, and Rob Blake has slowly turned things around in LA. Shalevsky, and then Kevin's like, why is he not playing? Because he's slow as F. Yeah. So
or Sasha or not Sasha.
Ivan Chekovich.
Chekovich. Yeah.
Well,
he just got back from the K, right?
Yep. He was finished his season in the KHL. In fact, I think he already played. I think he played the other night in Bakersfield, if I'm not mistaken. So. All right. So we're at 22 likes. I'm not sure if that's enough for a wraparound, but we do need to mention one game. I think we do need to mention one game. In fact, my phone just died, so now it's I have no access. But they're going to the 5th overtime in Fargo, North Dakota. Minnesota, Duluth, and North Dakota are tied up at 2. In the Fargo Regionals at the NCAA hockey tournament. Of course, Sharks prospect Jasper Weatherby is on that squad. Our good friend Kelsey, who was with us for a couple of years. They were always talking about how Weatherby would be a good player to jump on. So they're going into the 5th overtime there. So, it's nice to see. So, we'll keep an eye on that if it go. But I think they're in intermission.
AJ, I mean, honestly, can we talk about Sutter calling out Gaudreau? Where were you, buddy? Where have you been?
He was getting the quote. But yeah, I mean, what a way to celebrate a 500th game. Well,
right?
Wait, sorry. I don't know if I can even do the bitter bear face.
You don't look like a troll.
I just think, no, I better not, because then I'll probably get gifted on the Discord for it too. But I mean, Sutter just ripped him a new one. He better be better than his 499th. I mean, oh my gosh. So, we're at 24. We'll give a quick one on this one. We'll get you on. Yeah, and you know what, seeded angle? Yeah, Kessel had a hat trick in this game, but his sister is better. I say, on the hockey world. Bruins 3-2 over Buffalo. What a shock! So the Buffaloes lost 17 in a row. The Knights win in overtime, 3-2. The Flyers beat the Rangers. I guess Mika Zibanejad wanted to take the day off, so we'll be on that. The Leafs won in overtime. San Ramon native Austin Matthews won that one. And then Calgary wins 4-2.
Hey, bro, you have 2 ears.
Oh my God.
That's all I'm
You
saying.
two can deal with that on Discord after the show. That'd be greatly appreciated.
Bite me.
No. 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 No, no, no. No, 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 no. Does Lucic get suspended? I would think he might. We'll see. Can Jeffrey VL score goals? No.
No.
No. If he did, he would already been up on the squad. I mean, Kevin, if I'm not right, tell me. Kessel scored in all 4 games against San Jose. 6 of his 14 goals have come against the Sharks this season.
I thought it was 7, no?
I thought it was.
The empty netter?
I thought it was 6. It might have been. I'm sorry. I thought it was 7. I think it's 6. So.
Oh.
So with that, we appreciate all your support and donations. Yeah, and Kevin said no. Oh boy. So we appreciate your support each and every night. Please tell a friend. We want to grow this to the next level. And we appreciate each and every one of you. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Of course, hit that notification bell because that will notify you when we go on live, so you can be ready to jump on as soon as we jump on to talk about our team and the sport that we love for show. Thank you. Thank you for that. So in case you missed anything and you want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or your favorite podcatcher, which includes Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Of course, hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel, SoundCloud, Spotify, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and always available at tealtownusa.com. So, Landi, good to see you as always. Appreciate you. Your final thoughts and where the people can find you.
I don't think I've seen Puckeye this frustrated in a while.
I'm sorry.
Let's hope that.
I'm sorry, but when you don't give a damn against a team that's gonna wear, a purple Kachina jersey, which by the way does look actually nice, better than the green one. Give a damn. It's a 3rd string goaltender. Give a damn. You know what? Better yet, I'm gonna go full Ray Ratto. Just win the game. Just win the game. Like seriously, win the game. You're a damn good team. You should win the game. Back to you, Landi.
So I hope, I have nothing to ask or say, just sadness and this $5 donation. Thank you, DLR. Okay. I just hope for Puckeye's health that the Sharks win their next game. That's all I'm saying. Dark days, and we'll be here to break it all down for you. I'm at Erik Landi. You can find me using my first name, Erik, spelled with K, Landi, Landi, on all the social media garbage.
Damn you, AJ! You went there. You went there. Oh, you went there. Okay. Yes, thank you, DLR, for appreciate your support as always. Hey, you want to win some swag? Look at all that. I'm not sure the flag's included in it, but look at all that. You know what you're going to need to do that? You're going to watch The Technologists Sunday night, 7 p.m. on this same YouTube channel. You need to find out how to get all of that good stuff. You love to see it. I mean, come on. Don't you want a jumbo chia, Pat?
Chia.
Although that beer stein looks good, and I don't even drink beer. So, I'm just saying. So, if you want that, watch The Pucknologist tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, or p.m. Pacific.
PM Eastern.
Yeah. Well, no, but you know what? Sit in front of your phone or your computer for 3 hours because you are that excited to hear AJ and Drake make fun of me in some form. So, I'm at PuckGuy14 on the Twitter and the Instagram. That freaking designer call. Oh, man, I am so triggered. Now, we'll be back with you on Monday following the Sharks and Minnesota Wild. Oh, Lordy, please win that one for the sake of my sanity. Yeah, that's all I got to say. So, all the best to you. For those celebrating Passover, happy Passover. And until Monday night, I am at PuckGuy14. You can check out Pucknologist tomorrow at 7. And until then, keep it real, keep it teal, keep it real teal. Have a great night, everyone. Hang in there. We will see you on Monday night.